What's up, guys? Today we're working on the pitching stick again. I'm going to pick up where I left off. We're going to get this thing wrapped up, get some epoxy on it, and get it close to finishing, ready to fish. So y'all stick around. Alright guys, what I'm getting ready to do is I'm going to put an accent trim piece inside a wrap where I'm going to do my epoxy ramp here. I've done a full-on video. It should be out before you see this video, but if you haven't seen it, here's a quick way to do it. I'm not going to go through every detail, but you'll at least be able to see it up close. So here we go. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my accent color and I'm wrapping in red. I'm going to throw 2 turns of silver in it. For an accent, and you can't really do a single wrap because the thread's not thick enough, even though this is D, which is the thicker diameter thread. You got to get 2 wraps in to really for it to pop, and you'll see what I mean once we put the first coat of epoxy on it. So what I'm doing is I'm going to have it on the bottom of the blank. I'm going to tape this accent thread in here just to hold it in place. So what I'm doing is I'm taping on the bottom of the blank because you're going to have a couple there. You get really nitpicky about how this looks. You're going to see a couple imperfections if you look very closely in your wrap. But that's just how it happens. Well, that's the only way I know how to do it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start I've got my trim piece laid in here now. I'm going to start my normal wrap here. And I'm going to run it just like I would any normal wrap. And I'm pinning down the silver accent piece. So I'm running all the way up here to the front of the reel seat. Alright, I got about 10 wraps in there now. I'm going to get this trimmed out of the way. I'm going to tighten these threads up so they're nice and neat. Okay, so just to summarize, I've got 10 wraps or so on my primary red color here. I've got my accent color taped to the blank underneath these 10 wraps. Now here's the next step. So what you're going to do, you're going to hold it, you're going to pull your primary color and you're going to cross over the red with the silver, and then I pin it back down to the blank, and I'm going to do my 2 silver wraps by hand. Not actually turning the blank. Just 2, okay. Now the silver is over top of the red right here. Now we need to cross back over. So what I'm going to do now is I'm holding tension on the silver to keep the red from moving, pinning the red down. I'm going to cross back over the silver with the red. I'm going to hold that down. And then I'm going to back my tray in here again. and continue with my red wrap for about 5 or 6 turns. Get this packed back in where it belongs. Okay, now I'm also going, this is about the end of my accent wrap here at the end of my reel seat. So I'm going to start finishing that wrap up before I finish up the accent wrap. Okay, now I've got about 7 turns on the silver with the red on top. I'm going to clip it out of the way. I'm going to cut the silver back inside the reel seat here. Finish up this wrap. Here you go, you got it, what it looks like, a single thread inside your accent wrap. Now you can put it on the end. It depends on where you want to stop which thread. I'll do some different ones on another build so you can see how those go. And then I've got a little burr right here on my red. So I'm gonna put a little bit of flame on it, just like you were getting rid of a thread pull on a sweater. Now you see a gap in here, and that's not bad. What will happen when we do the epoxy ramp, we're going to magnify this red, and this red is going to look like it comes all the way up to here, and you see that nice silver ring in it. But stick around, we'll finish this up. Now, I know you guys have seen me do a lot of wraps by now, if you watch many videos, but I changed the camera angle, hopefully giving you guys a top-down view. Maybe you might pick up something you couldn't see from one of the other views. So first things first here, I've got my guide in its location. It's being held on by one of the CRB micro guide bands. It's these, they come in a pack of about, I don't know, 15 of these little sleeves of little rubber bands. You slide them on the end, obviously pull them down to where you need them, and then I slid my guide underneath to hold it in place, because when you get down to these small guides, I think these are 6 number 6 on the ring size, they get kind of small, so it's held in by the rubber band. I'm going to pin my primary thread down to the blank, start my wrap. I'm coming up close behind the guide, and then I'm going to cross over the guide foot to pin it down tight to the blank, and then I'm coming out in front of the tip of the guide, which I like about 4 wraps before I get to the guide foot, and then I'm going to cross over to pin that and pull that back. It's going to have a little kink in it every time you do it. Alright, so that's 2 wraps, that's 3 wraps, that's 4 wraps. I'm right at the end of the guide foot now. And we're going to jump up on it and run a few wraps. Okay, now I'm going to stop here for a second, unpin this tag end here. I'm going to cut it out of the way. And little clippers. I'll take my burnishing tool. I'm going to start sliding this thread down and close this gap. Pretty much got the gap closed now. I'm going to finish the wrap. Get down close to my rubber band. All you have to do is take your razor knife, your razor blade, and just touch it. And it'll disappear. You'll be all over the floor somewhere, but it's out of the way at the moment. We'll stop about, 6 or 7 wraps from the end. Put my thread pull in. Finish it up. Now I always go a little further on my wrap, maybe 1 or 2, because I'm going to pack it all down towards the grip anyway. Clip it through your loop. Pull. And you're going to cut it. So I pull a little tension and tighten those last 7 wraps up. I lay the blade down on top of the wrap. I'm just going to pull back to it. There we go. Tighten these up real quick. And that wrap is done from the bird's eye view.